Hello everyone, we are starting Unit 3, which is going to be working on a lot of exponents and square roots, which is something that I'm sure that you've seen before, but we're just going to kind of take it to another level. Before we start, though, I wanted to tell you guys a quick story. I was reading the news the other day, and there was a guy who was in an accident where his whole left side was cut off, but it's okay because he's all right now. Get it? Those are good. That's top-level humor that you're getting from me. You don't get that from other math teachers. So we're going to be working on some exponent stuff. So exponents are like counters. So if we're looking at each of these problems, okay, 4 to the first is 1, 4. 4 to the second would be 4 times 4. 4 cubed, or 4 to the third power, would be 4 times 4 times 4. And then 4 to the fourth is we're just multiplying 4 times. Okay? So that's all these mean. Now, once we get to this stage, we can then simplify this, and I'm going to change colors here. So we can simplify this. 4 is just 4. That doesn't change. But 4 times 4, that's 16. And now we're going to do 16 times 4, and the easiest way to do that would be 16 times 2, which is 32, and we double that again, which is 64. And now if we had to do it one more time, the easy way would be double 64. That's 128. And then 128 doubled would be 28, would be 56. And then we'd add the 200 on, so 256. But if you had to do that by hand, that's nothing wrong. We learned that in an earlier unit. But the big thing I want you to understand is that it's counters. 4 to the first is 1, 4. 4 to the second is 2 fourths, and so on. So I want you to try these on your own. Just write them out like we did and then solve them, and then I'll come back and do it. So this is 3, 3 times 3, 3 times 3 times 3. It'd be great if I could copy. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. And this one will have 5. Now, once you get here, you can then multiply these out and get the answers. So this is just 3. This is 9, 27, 81, and 243. And the only reason why I know those is because I've done them a million times before. Okay, now I want to bring apart something that we're working on here. If you look 243 to 81, if we're going up, we're just dividing by 3, like that. And if we go from 81 to 27, we're dividing by 3 again. So then if we went 27 to 9, we're dividing by 3, and then 9 to 3, we're dividing by 3. And notice how this is getting down. So what happens if we get, and I'm pretty sure I know what's under here. Yep. What happens if we get 3 to the 0? Well, what's 3 divided by 3 going to be? Well, that's 1. And actually, we're going to extend this page down here. Anything raised to the 0 is going to be 1, except for 0 raised to the 0, which is impossible. You can't do that. But anything else raised to the 0 will be 1, not 0. So if you ever write 1 raised to the 0 equals 0, I'm going to circle that. I'm going to put a giant X. Whoops. And put a giant X next to it, and you get 0 points. You cannot do that. It's 2 to the 0 is 1. 4 to the 0 is 1. 9 to the 0 is 1. Always 1, never 0. The only one that doesn't work is 0 raised to the 0. Okay, so now we can also go backwards from these. So if we're given 2 times 2, and we want to write that as exponent, that's 2 squared. 4 times 4 times 4 as an exponent would be 4 cubed. 6 times 6 times 6 times 6 as an exponent would be 6 to the 4th. Okay? So I'd like you to try these on your own, and then I'll come back and do them. 7 times 7, well, that would be 7 squared. 9 would just be 9 to the 1st. 4 times 4 times 4 would be 4 cubed. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 would be 2 to the 4th. Now, if you wrote those out as full numbers, that would be just fine. It would be 49, 9, 64, and 16. Okay? Now, this is our final practice. I want you to write these, if they're in exponent form, like the ones on the left and the ones down on the right, I'd like you to find them as regular numbers. If they're written as numbers, like the one on the top right, write them in exponent form. Okay, so for this one, this is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which is 4 times 4, which is 16. Man, I am just getting destroyed with this pen. There we go. 8 squared is 8 times 8, which is 64. 7 to the 0 is 1, not 0. This is 2 cubed, which is equal to 8. This is where it gets a little tricky. 3 times 3 squared, well, we know 3 squared is 3 times 3, so there's actually just 3 3's here, which gives us 27 because it's 9 times 3. And finally, the end one, we have to split these up. This is 4 times 4, and this is 2 times 2. That's 16. That's 4, so our whole answer is 64. Okay, if you have questions on any of these, make sure you ask me. Overall, I don't think it's too bad, though. All right?